So, and a very good morning to you from Walton-on-the-Naze in Essex. Now, I'm down here because I'm going to go to the actual area that's called Walton-on-the-Naze, which is a prehistoric peninsula. And there we're going to see if we can find any dinosaur fossils. But it is a most glorious day. Now on the radio on the way down here, it said that it would be the hottest day of the year so far, and going up to about 34 degrees.
Offshore winds, winds that are at sea. So if you're in the sea and you're on a boat with that,
So we've made our way to the actual the Naze Nature Discovery Centre. So there's like a cafeteria in there, a children's area, and yeah, there's just a display of the fossils that are found here. So I hope you caught that. It said megalodon shark. It's right here. Look at this. This is what the crag was looking like. This is from a sand shark. Oh, they're sharp, aren't they? And it says that even the sand shark is 3.5 meters. We've got some whalebone. So this map gives you a pretty good idea of sort of setup here. Visitor centre, and they've got the Naze Tower, which a lady told me it was built in the 1700s. So we're going to make our way down the steep stairway and then along this walk, which is covered in rocks as well, and then we're going to make our way down the steps, and then this is where the fossils are here. But as you can see, it carries on. It's quite an extensive area for exploring, really. So just talking a little bit about our recent history, just 80 odd years ago. Along these cliffs were set the pillboxes in case of the German or the expected German invasion. And you can see where the cliff has eroded and they've dropped into the sea. We can also see where the cliffs of today are eroding and allowing these ancient fossils to be found. We've also got history of today being made. So these children have come down on a coach, I guess from London somewhere, and they're being shown the beach by an expert. And you never know, some of them may become geologists themselves. Who knows? Anyway, looks like the tide is out for now, so we'll go down and see what we can find. Okay, you will need a good set of legs to manage these steps. And ideally a good set of footwear if you're going to go in the muddy bit, so I put my trusty sort of swampy shoes on. It's quite exciting, these little adventures. You never know what you'll find on the day. Now, I did say earlier on the temperature will hit about 34 today, which is getting to be one of our hottest days. But we're starting to go into the 30s more regular, and it sort of reminds me of the sort of Jurassic period in a way. That makes sense, because as I believe it, during the time of the dinosaurs and so on, it's very hot, and this would have been sort of tropical seabed, I guess. So we just don't know what Essex will look like in, say, 10 or 20 years' time. So I did read that these granite blocks are actually imported from Norway. You can see the tower up the top there. We can see how the cliffs sort of sliding in. So this is obviously to stop it going any further into the sea. So all the budding geologists have just left, so we're going to make our way down the steps. It's always like, it impresses me, the view that strikes you, you know. It's just great, isn't it? And just to think that this was an area of huge dinosaurs in the sea and out of the sea. Oh, it's quite warm. So you can still see the sort of shape for the... I read that it was a Lewis gun positioned here from the First World War, so you can see it could like carry its arc. You can see all the different bunkers over there. Wow, you can see how far the cliff eroded. Have a little peep inside. Right, on we go. I was here many years ago and did the same sort of thing, although the tide was coming in back then. So the gunners would have been able to sort of circumnavigate the whole pillbox. Still got the original steps, isn't it? Let's go and get my old bucket and see what we can find. So our first fossil of the day is a piece of fossilised tree. Another piece of fossilised tree. This one's pretty cool because you can see inside of it. It's an amazing place, isn't it? So here we can see some of the London clay. Look at that, isn't that great? Not sure if you can make pots out of it. So I think this might be a prehistoric shell. It's been washed down from the cliff, I guess. And we've got a few of these sort of pillboxes. So warm. There's another one, that. Pretty sure that's a lot older than you think. Wow. We're literally walking at the end of Essex. It's literally in sight. It's just over there. There's another one, that. That's a bit of clay, isn't it? So warm. So you start imagining everything's a fossil. Oh, it definitely is something. Don't know if you can see that very well. So heavy. So we can see the tide is now coming in. Comes in quite quick as well. See the bunker we looked at over there. Perhaps some sort of coral from the past, a plant. Remember in the museum, or the cabinet they had, there was some sort of conglomerate of flint and sand. So I found quite a few bits here. It's just great stuff, isn't it? This clay, isn't it? Take that one. So I've got a feeling you might be able to make some pottery out of this one. Oh, it's so warm. It's so not English. Seriously. Got a feeling I've hit a very busy area. This looks to me like either a bone. It's got lines running down it, or possibly part of a tree. I don't know. You can see how the cliff is crumbling away as I've been walking along. Huge lumps of it's just coming down like this. So dry. You can imagine when it rains here, this cliff takes a pounding. Well, if I show you what I've got so far, I haven't got any megalodon teeth. I've got some conglomerate of sand and shingle. Got something that looks like either a bone or a piece of tree. You can see some sort of lines in there. Something that looks like a turd, but I think it's something like a branch or something, been rounded off. Possibly a bit of coral or branch. Something with a hole in it. I like to think this is a bone. Could it be? Funny shape. No idea what this is, but it's fossilised. This looks like a big piece of branch. It's very heavy. You can tell when it's fossilised just by the weight. And again, smaller piece with a hole in it. Yep. So I keep walking towards Ipswich. So I've got a bit of excitement now. Got a pipe. Got a rusty steel pipe. Just wonder if that's something to do with the World War II pillboxes. Bit of pipe, what do you like? Yeah, that's about all I'm finding. Anyway, you never know. Keep looking. It's a beautiful place though, isn't it? You do get the feeling that all of a sudden something's going to come out of those off the top there from the Jurassic Park. Well, they haven't made a film here really. Great film set. Some parts of Essex are overlooked, I will say that. Well, on my quest to find Jurassic bones, I found a pipe. Now, you see that bit that's chipped off? It's a clean cut, so there's a section there missing. I'm just wondering, a bit far-fetched, but could it be Roman? Here's the bit that broke off. Now, could be. It's got some antiquity to it. Anyway, in the bucket. This will drive the wife mad every time I come home with a load of bits of rock and whatever else. She'll give me another job to do in the garden. You know what women are like, they don't want you to do anything on your own, do they? They want you to fix the house up. Oh, look at this old tree. Right, onwards and onwards we go. Wow. Another tree embedded in the sandy beach. Like I say, I'm very surprised they've not used this as a backdrop for something. It's all there, isn't it? So you can see now the cliffs are tapering downwards. So at some point we should be able to... Ah, look at this. I know what this is. You got any idea what that is? So this is from World War II, but they did use them in World War I. So basically you would screw that into the ground and that would be used to attach the barbed wire. They're normally quite a lot taller than that, normally 3 times the length. So it must have been up there somewhere. So I've found the perfect little spot just to take a little break from the heat and the walkabout. It's like a natural sort of alcove. They never even see me, don't you see that? Now we can clearly see the cliff is just 2-3 metres high. We can see what happens when the erosion meets the sea, and we throw a lot of money at it. So we've got this big wire cages full of Norwegian granite. I guess they're bringing it over. I would say they're probably bringing it over the docks over there at Felixstowe. Makes sense, wouldn't it? It's the thing with beaches, you get to one sort of the end of one and you want to see what's around the corner. Looks like, see how the sea's already had a go at this. See some of the previous efforts. Beaches just go on and on, impressive, aren't they? See, this is seriously ancient, look at that. Ah. Could it be Roman? Or is it 1950s? I would say, I don't know, I would say it's very old. Can't tell you how old that is, but it's definitely not, it's handmade, so it's not sort of straight. It's almost elliptical, isn't it? Perhaps somebody out there knows. The other piece was just over there. Well, I've come looking for dinosaur stuff and might find something that's more in our time. By hundreds of years maybe, who knows. Now I've also come across what we would call the black estuary mud. And if I start to walk through it, you'll see what I mean. Look at that. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? So yeah, Essex is, it's, I read a couple of weeks ago that it was the driest spring in 69 years. Whoa, that's pretty dodgy, isn't it? Quicksand. Whoa, seriously. So yeah, you can see everything's drying up now. We've had about, I would say about 4 or 5 days rain in, oh I don't know, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Don't know if I should walk across here. Right, I'm going to go back across. What the heck is that? Like a tree. What is that? Oh, it's a burnt tree, it's not fossil. Got all excited for a minute. Right, according to these folk there, that's setting up a sign, this is Stone Point, and this is the end of the Naze, Walton-on-the-Naze. So I'm going to walk back now. And we can see the tower somewhere in the distance. Now I've just walked inland just a few metres, so I've come off the beach, because not everybody can walk on these sort of beaches. This is the sort of quicksand area I walked on here. Now I'm going to walk on the footpath, and I believe this goes all the way back to the actual tower. You see, we've gone back up to, well, we've gone up to the area that was about 3 metres above sea level as such. So now we're going to head towards that tree line, that wooded area. It's just like what they call a thicket. Just makes you wonder how long these sort of trees have been growing here. I mean, they obviously don't live more than 100 years, but their offspring may. Some of the... There's a tree that we sat on there. I just get the feeling this area, there's quite a lot of brick masonry lying around, so there's obviously been modern civilization, but I'm just thinking, how far back? How many thousands of years have we actually lived on this sort of peninsula? It's just a lovely little area to explore, isn't it? So people have just cut through little footpaths to the beach. I'll stay with the main one. It's just stinging nettles. Afternoon. Oh, look at this. Somebody's brought some chairs. Isn't that brilliant? Well, I'm sorry I didn't find bones as such from the dinosaurs, but it's been a good walkabout, I would say. And I found a lovely spot. Somebody's placed a couple of chairs. And I was thinking it'd make a lovely spot for a bench, but the reality is this is the cliff and it might not be here in a year or two. See, once your winter gals get in here and this all gets soaked, the weight of it just falls onto the beach down there. So you really got to take the opportunity and see it now. Anyway, let's go inland and see what we can find. I really want to get to the big tree. That's my sort of aim, and then I'll go back on the beach, because I prefer the beach walk to this. Not saying it's not nice, but there's more to see on the beach. So I found an intact pillbox. Look at this. Now there's a sort of sign, it's a bit crackly, but perhaps these are somebody's ancestors watching this. These are the Royal Scots Fusiliers, and it's the same pillbox in September 1940. Perhaps you can look up the original picture online somewhere. There's also a picture of the Scots Fusiliers on the same day. Looks like they were on a hot day. It looks like this fella's on the Bren gun. You just make it out there. Come on, let's have a look inside. Hello, mate. God, I bet it's hot for the dog. Right. It's a little lady. So you can just imagine these Scots Fusiliers looking out this window. The corporal or sergeant will be telling them to keep a close eye. Obviously all these bushes wouldn't be there, they'd have a good view of the coast. And they'd be chatting away, wouldn't they, about their wives and all the rest of it. Going down the pub, anywhere but in here I reckon. But they had a job to do, so you can see it's like well designed. Anywhere the Germans would approach, especially by this doorway, they could put the weapon, and then they've got an arc of fire there. Right, if we can actually, I just thought about this, if we go up on top of this old bunker, oh, that's it, I've got stung. Get a really good view. It's very difficult to see, but you can see the shoreline now. Well, beyond those trees. So imagine that they would have had all this cut back to give them a clear sight of a line of fire, I guess. But it basically would, the peninsula goes along like this. Then it carries on up there. And somewhere up there is the tower. So what we're going to do, we're going to find the trees, about 50 metres or 70 metres in there, find the cliff edge again. Oh, it is hot. Still, mustn't complain like we always do, us English, because something we're very good at with the weather. It's either too hot or too cold, too windy, too rainy, whatever. We're very good at not being satisfied, but I think the problem is that we never get it long enough to adjust to it. See, I lived in Australia for a year or so, and you can get used to heat if it's constant. you sort of adjust to it. But when it comes on like this so quick, and then it's gone again, so it's just when you get used to it, it's over. So yeah, but in the future it may well be that this is the norm. Who knows? So now we're walking through past the indigenous trees. We've got the oak tree, we've got the little acorns coming through there. So I would say, let's have a look. I've got a feeling it's through here. When you see a little footpath like this, it generally means there's a view at the end of it. Ooh, a few stingers here, so I'm going to give it a go. Ooh. There we go, no pain, no gain. Still, they say that stinging nettles are good for your circulation. I've seen people talking about it's good for arthritis, because what it does is when you sting your joints, it puts blood to the joints. So I'm not a GP, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but there's your blackberries. But here we go. I'm pretty sure there's something to look at because people have cut a path. And let's be honest, people do know where it's good to go. Oh, let's have a little look. Ooh, oh, it's a bit scary. Oh, that is a bit. Oh, yeah, I'm not too good at heights, and I'm going to lay down and poke it over the edge. Now, I'll be honest, don't like that. Ooh, it's a bit dicey. So if we can see the pillboxes. There's some swimmers out there as well. And it is warm. You know, I used to work on the overhead lines. It's quite high, dangerous work. On the railway, I used to work off of ladders and machines. And I kind of got used to heights to a point, but once you stop doing it, your common sense kicks in. No, I don't even like going near the edge. You can't see really, because some of these cliffs, they're overhanging, so they could just fall away. I don't fancy that. Oh, I'm going to turn around and go back. But yeah, we are on ancient territory, very, very ancient. So this area, you would have definitely had the Neolithic and the Iron and Bronze Ages. Don't forget the Stone Age, which is sort of Neolithic, isn't it? Then you would have gone through, after the Iron Age, the Romans would have piled in here. They would have picked this point, followed by the Saxons, who they dragged over here, or brought over. Sort of mercenaries, but then they came over anyway. So yeah, I would have thought this area would have been prime real estate because of its location. stinging nettles lose their sort of power. I'll show you a little trick. Wouldn't recommend this, but what you can do, if you get a leaf, you roll it up like this, yeah, ooh, and eat it. It's quite good. Stinging nettles were used in medieval times to make soups and stuff. They're like, I think they're like the cabbage, wild cabbage, so they're quite nice. But if you're going to eat any, you've got to make sure you roll up the leaf properly or you're going to sting your tongue. Hawthorn, another indigenous plant. I believe this is hawthorn. These berries will go red. These used to be used for medicinal purposes. How you doing? So yeah, I think the berries from the hawthorn were used to combat cancer and things like that. Again, it's another medieval remedy, should we say. This is an interesting tree, another English tree, very common, chestnut tree. Tell by the leaves. There you go, don't eat stinging nettles. So this tree has probably been coppiced by the way all the branches, and it's a really old one. Again, you can eat the chestnuts, and the wood is really good. We use it for various things. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to go down to the beach, so it'll be going high tide now. Well, coming up to high tide soon. So that's where the two chairs are. Yes, it's best not to eat anything wild unless you really know what you're doing. And I'm no expert, so certainly don't listen to me. If you look at this nasty looking thing, I believe this is the hawthorn tree or bush. It's legendary for the use in the old days of making walking sticks and so on. I mean, I think the Celts saw this as a mythical tree, bush. The berries on that again can be eaten if you know what you're doing. Just found a pigeon taking a little nap. Okay, and we're coming back down into the beach, and we're coming up for high tide now, so I'm pretty sure at the end we won't be able to get out because it goes quite high, covers the steps. But what we can do is wait for the tide to go back out, and then we'll walk up the steps again. That's the plan anyway. So we're likely to be the only person on the beach now. It's lovely. It is quite warm. I don't know why, but I expect to see Charlton Heston come down on his horse when I see a scene like this. And Planet of the Apes. Do you ever see that film? Where he's got the old Statue of Liberty sticking out the ground or the beach. Because he was never sure until the end of the film what was happening. What happened to humanity. And when he saw that, he knew. Great film if you've not seen it. Basically he's an astronaut and he lands back on the Earth when the apes, primates, have taken over. If that makes any sense. And it made sense at the time. It's a bit daft really, but he's a good actor. So, I would say, let's get away, get into the shade. I would say if you was to come here in the winter time or when it rains heavy, you will see a difference. As you can imagine, all this will get waterlogged with thousands of tons of weight bearing down, and it'll push out. You can actually see the different periods. I mean, I'm not a geologist, but you can see the different ages. The geologist will tell you the meaning of all these layers.